A $200 million project to equip 13 of Montreal's metro stations with special barriers that block off the metro tracks, it's been shelved due to budget cuts. In addition to being a safety measure, they also prevent service interruptions caused by people dropping stuff onto the tracks. The number of times the metro has to be delayed because one of you dropped your AirPod into the track, that's also a big problem. So there was a solution. Apparently it cost too much. Project has been shelved. Here to shed some light on that decision is the leader of the opposition at City Hall, Aref Salem from Ensemble Montréal. Monsieur Salem, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Elias.
So listen, first things first, I see, $200 million for 13 metro stations. I say to myself, geez, it does sound kind of expensive. But what do you think about the reasoning here, the budget cuts that have led to this decision?
Well, basically, it was a bigger project than this. It was a project of $568 million. Part of it is coming from the provincial government, and $200 million coming from the federal government. Now, we think it's a broken promise. It's another broken promise of the administration in place. And, the thing is, besides throwing away AirPods or cell or whatever in place and having a backlog in the service, we have lives that we can save.
Lives, that's right. Because there's suicide attempts, and there are sometimes violent attempts. We saw an example of that in Toronto a couple of weeks ago. A woman was pushed onto the tracks by someone else.
According to a research here done by the UQAM in Montreal, we can save up to 16 lives in Montreal. So what kind of project? What other project is more important than saving 16 lives a year?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's for me it's. I don't know what to say because I asked a question for the mayor during the last council. I didn't get any answer beside that they're not doing this project. We went to see the documents at the STM, and the STM they said it's canceled. It's a project canceled. So $568 million going to the garbage.
So, Mr. Salem, I'll say it's easy to say in opposition, right? Because you have the case there. Hey, we could save 16 lives, right? And there are points there. But I would imagine when you're in power, there's also the issue of budgets. And the fact is that, and partially due to the pandemic, ridership has plummeted, right, on Montreal's metro system. They're in a cash crunch. So how do you solve that problem, Mr. Salem, if you got to keep up the level of service and you want to install these barriers? I would imagine if you put the barriers in, you kept the program, you'd have to cut service.
Well, I agree with you. The problem is, we mismanage even during the pandemic. We continue to offer exactly the same service like if we have 100% of the people coming to the metro. Now we can't talk about the past. We have to live with the consequences of the decision that was taken. Now we have $200 million available for this project. This $200 million, it's a one-shot deal. We cannot use them in something else. It's like if I'm asking you, Elias, take your $200 million from your mortgage and go to the restaurant, spend them in the restaurant. Doesn't work that way. So if you have to have money to make a better service, you have to have consequent money coming every year. So this $200 million, it's just one-shot deal, and we cannot depend on this money forever. So I think there is a mismanagement of this money. And we agree that we could have been better. We could have do better during the pandemic. But, the decision was taken back then. For us, it wasn't the right decision.
Cities that have these barriers, these platform screen doors in place include Paris, London, Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong. I have a listener sending me a text message at 514-800. Hong Kong has that, a wall of glass with sliding doors when the train arrives. It's amazing. Should not be that expensive, safe, efficient, and it saves so many lives. That's from Carlos sending me that note on the text line. So let me ask you this, Monsieur Salem. Is this project dead, or is there any hope of bringing it back?
According to the STM, it's dead. We have documents, in our hands. It says it was a $568 million project. For them, it's dead.
All right, so let's turn our attention here to maybe more positive news or a development here, which you came on to talk about this when you announced this, and you had a real lovely press conference unveiling when you had this. You had your councillors there with their dogs saying, hey, we should allow dogs on the metro. Lo and behold, you and Projet Montréal work together, and dogs, there will be a pilot project coming to Montreal Metro System to allow dogs on board. What can you tell us about the pilot project?
Well, we're happy at least, that we had a really long discussions during the weekend before the council. We end up having an agreement. So we're having this pilot project by the end of this year. People can bring their pets in the metro. We're asking the STM, we have to see what's the conditions of this pilot project, how we're going to put the pets in the metro. So we have to wait until they do the conditions, and they make it public. They communicate the conditions. And hopefully by the end of this year, we will see our pets in the metro in a certain way.
How do you think that the collaboration between you and Projet Montréal on this one, how would you describe it?
I said from the beginning we will be a constructive opposition. We will discuss with the administration for the safety of our residents, and we can we will do our work as opposition when we have to. In this dossier, it was at the beginning it was hard, but we spent almost 2 days in discussions back and forth to make sure, on their side, on our side, and SPCA too, they were involved in these discussions. So the three of us were really happy with the results, with the end result of this motion.
And can I ask you what when the pilot project begins, what will you be looking at to see if it should go from pilot project to a permanent thing? Because I have some listeners that are concerned, right? They're concerned about allergies. They're concerned about dog bites. They're concerned about sanitation, right? What will you be looking at to see if you can deem it a success or not?
First of all, we know already that it exists in some other cities. We know that in Madrid it exists, in London, in Amsterdam, Copenhagen, here in Canada, in Toronto it exists. And so far there's no problem in Toronto with the dogs. So we're going to see if there is anything special that it might happen in Montreal. If you can make sure at least, in a pilot project, you have to make sure that you have a reserved wagon for the people allergic. We can take the first or the last one for the dogs. So can we bring the dogs during the rush hour or not? So this stuff, we have to look at them and see if there is no accident, we should go ahead with the project and make it happen, as a bylaw, with some restriction if it has to be. And we'll see by the end of the year how things will go. But I'm really positive about it, and I think we're going to end up having this bylaw by the end probably of this year.
Aref Salem is the leader of the official opposition at City Hall, leader of Ensemble Montréal. Great talking to you. Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure, Elias.